Everyone in the Catholic world was waiting with bated breath. The anticipation was palpable as people from all walks of life gathered in St. Peter's Square, their eyes fixed on the Vatican. St. Peter's Square was silent, a rare moment of stillness in a place usually bustling with activity. The air was thick with expectation. Pope Francis, looking serious and contemplative, was about to make a big announcement for the Church. His demeanor suggested the gravity of the moment. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the well-loved Archbishop of Manila, known for being humble and always smiling, stood next to him. His presence added a sense of warmth to the otherwise tense atmosphere. Everyone felt excited but also a little nervous. The crowd's mixed emotions mirrored the uncertainty of the moment. This wasn't just a regular speech from the Pope, it was a momentous occasion, one that would be remembered for years to come. This was a moment of huge change, a big shake-up in the Catholic Church. The crowd's reactions ranged from shock to awe. Tagle, a man who loved people, was loved by Filipinos and Catholics all over the world because he cared for the poor. His compassion and dedication were evident in his every action. When he became a cardinal in 2012, everyone was happy. It was a moment of pride and joy for the Philippines and for the global Catholic community. It showed that the Church was paying more attention to Asia and other developing countries. This was a significant shift, recognizing the growing importance of these regions in the global Church. But nobody expected what happened next. The surprise was evident on the faces of those gathered in St. Peter's Square. The Pope's words spread across the square and around the world through the internet. Social media buzzed with the news, reaching millions in an instant. Cardinal Tagle, surprising everyone, even the experts at the Vatican, was chosen to lead the congregation for the evangelization of peoples. This unexpected choice left many in awe. This wasn't just a promotion, it was like becoming a king. The honor and responsibility bestowed upon him were immense. This group in charge of the Church's mission work was one of the most important in the Vatican. Its influence and reach were unparalleled. Tagle, from the Philippines, a country with lots of poverty, was now in charge of sharing the gospel all over the world. His journey from Manila to the Vatican was a testament to his faith and dedication. Everyone understood how important this was. The appointment of a new leader was not just a routine change. It was a momentous occasion that carried significant implications for the future of the Church. The Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, sometimes called Propaganda Fide, has been a cornerstone of the Church's missionary activities for centuries. It had always been run by Europeans who shaped its policies and direction. Its leaders, almost always Italian, had decided how the Church did its missionary work for a very long time. They were the ones who determined the strategies and approaches for spreading the faith. Tagle's appointment changed everything, showing a big shift in the Church's power. It was a clear signal that the Church was ready to embrace a more global perspective. This was Pope Francis, the Pope from far away, making a big change. His decision was a bold move, reflecting his vision for a more inclusive and diverse Church. He seemed to be saying that the Church wasn't just for the West anymore. It was a message that resonated with many, signaling a new era of inclusivity. It was a worldwide Church, full of different people, and its leaders needed to show that. The diversity of the Church's followers needed to be reflected in its leadership. Tagle, who understood the problems of developing countries, spoke many languages, and was very charismatic, was the right person for this new time. His ability to connect with people from various backgrounds made him an ideal leader. Choosing Tagle also showed that Asia was becoming more important in the 21st century. The region's growing influence could no longer be ignored. With more than half the world's people living there, Asia was a good place for the Catholic Church to grow, and many people had become Catholic in recent years. The potential for expansion was immense. Tagle, with his Asian background and understanding of its cultures, was the perfect person to lead the Church's growth there. His deep connection to the region and its people made him uniquely qualified for this role. The news about Tagle shocked the Catholic world. In the Philippines, church bells rang with joy. Filipinos, used to being ignored by the global church, were thrilled. This was their moment, their hero, becoming super important. Across Asia, from big cities in China to small villages in India, Catholics celebrated. Tagle gave them hope. He showed that they were important to the church. He was a new kind of church leader who understood developing countries, cared about social justice, and wasn't afraid to do things differently. In Europe and the Americas, people weren't as excited and some were worried. Some, used to the old ways, didn't trust Tagle. Others, though, thought he was a good change, a sign that Pope Francis was serious about making the church better and more welcoming. Tagle's appointment came at an important time for the Catholic Church. Pope John Paul II, the exciting pope before him, had been very important. His fight against communism, his travels around the world, and his strong faith had inspired many people. But John Paul II was also very traditional and didn't like change, especially about social issues. His successor, Pope Benedict XVI, was very smart but not as exciting, and he had a hard time following John Paul II. The Church, with many problems in the 21st century, like fewer people going to church in the West and more people not believing in God, needed a new way forward. Pope Francis, who was humble, cared for the poor, and talked to the modern world, seemed to offer that new way. Choosing Tagle showed that the Church was ready for change and wanted to adapt to the 21st century. From Asian streets to Vatican halls, Luis Antonio Tagle's journey from the bustling streets of Manila to the hallowed halls of the Vatican is a testament to his unwavering faith, sharp intellect, and deep compassion for the marginalized. His story is one of dedication and service, marked by a profound commitment to uplifting the downtrodden. Born into a devoutly religious family, Tagle was immersed in the teachings of the Church from a young age. His early years were filled with prayer, community service, and a strong sense of purpose. It was clear to everyone around him that he was destined for a life of spiritual leadership. After rigorous academic pursuits, Tagle emerged as a respected theologian, earning an advanced degree from the prestigious Catholic University of America. His scholarly work gained him recognition and respect within the global Catholic community. However, it was his unwavering dedication to helping the poor and his passionate advocacy for social justice that truly set him apart. Tagle's work extended beyond the confines of the Church, reaching into the heart of communities in need. As the Archbishop of Manila, Tagle was a hands-on leader. He spent countless hours visiting impoverished areas, providing comfort to the sick, and speaking out against social injustices. His presence was a source of hope and inspiration for many. Tagle's charisma and ability to connect with people from all walks of life made him a beloved figure. Whether speaking with world leaders or engaging with local communities, his genuine care and empathy shone through. He had a unique gift for bridging the gap between complex theological discussions and the everyday struggles of ordinary people. Tagle could engage in deep conversations with scholars and then turn around to share a simple meal with street children, always making everyone feel valued. His transition to the Vatican, while unexpected to some, felt like a natural progression to many who knew him. Tagle's lifelong dedication to serving both God and humanity made his new role a fitting continuation of his remarkable journey. Navigating a divided church. Tagle's new job wasn't easy. The church had many problems, like disagreements about sexuality, bad things done by priests, and the role of women. Fewer people believing in God, especially in the West, was a big problem for the church. But Tagle wasn't afraid of hard topics. He believed in talking things out and listening to different ideas. He didn't want to force people to believe things, but wanted to meet them where they were, help them with their faith, and share God's love. Tagle could also help fix the growing divide between the church in the West and the church in developing countries. He understood both, and he could help everyone understand each other and bring unity to the global church. A bridge between East and West. Tagle's vision for unity. Tagle wanted the church to be united but also different, a church that included everyone around the world while staying true to its beliefs. He thought the church's strength was not in being the same everywhere, but in talking to everyone, no matter their background. Tagle's appointment showed that the church wanted to listen to people from developing countries, learn from them, and include their ideas. This didn't mean forgetting the church's traditions, but understanding them in a way that made sense today. Tagle's focus on talking and listening to people with different views was important for fixing problems in the church. He believed that by talking respectfully and learning from each other, the church could find agreement and move forward together. The future of the papacy, a more inclusive church. Tagle's appointment sent a big message about the future of the Pope. It showed that the church was ready for a pope from anywhere in the world, a pope who represented everyone in the church. Tagle's appointment didn't mean for sure that a non-European pope would be chosen next, but it made it more possible. It showed that the cardinals were willing to think about leaders from outside the usual powerful places in the church. This change was important. The church is global, with most of its people living in developing countries. It made sense that the pope, the most important person in the church, should come from anywhere in the world. Tagle's place in history. We don't know yet what Luis Antonio Tagle's impact on the Catholic Church will be. His appointment was a big event, showing that the Church was ready for change in the 21st century. We don't know if he will ever be Pope, but one thing is for sure, Tagle's ideas, his hope for a more welcoming and caring Church, will continue to be important in the Vatican and everywhere. His journey from Manila to the center of the Catholic Church inspired many people. It showed the power of faith, humility, and caring for social justice. We don't know what will happen to this amazing man, but he has already changed the church. His story isn't finished, and the world is watching.